Doug Burnett with the Fauquier Chamber of Commerce. Today I am with Michael Glasscock, who is with the Veteran Affairs Services out of, based in Fredericksburg right now, but working, obviously, the office is coming out of Richmond, as well as with Judd Walls with Constant Water. And today we've had a conversation earlier, but we want to go ahead and record some key pieces of it regarding what the opportunities for employers are with regards to hiring veterans. And there's a program, V3, which is Virginia Values Veterans, of which Michael is the expert, subject matter expert in the room on. And talking about these benefits, it's a little bit sound confusing up front, but after a brief conversation, the benefit is clear. So Michael, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you, and you talk a little bit more about how V3 came to be and how it can help our employers here in Fauquier.
Terrific. Thank you so much. And first and foremost, Mr. Burnett, thank you for having me. Mr. Walls, thanks for being here. So the Virginia Values Veterans Program, or V3, is a program through the Virginia Department of Veterans Services that seeks to certify civilian employers as veteran and military-friendly hirers, and then works through a number of state resources to connect those employers to veteran and military family job seekers. Everything we offer is completely free of charge. The only ask we have of our employers is a attendance at 1 hour webinar one time on the benefits and best practices of recruiting veterans and military families, and a quarterly hiring report, which you'll learn more about as you start your certification process. So that being said, I will open up to questions.
Yeah, and I would even say, just to reinforce your point on the ease of it, so the Fauquier Chamber is certified V3, and we went through the webinar and the reporting process, and it is not encumbering at all. It is not taxing at all. It doesn't require dedicated staff members, et cetera. The reporting, for an example, on a quarterly basis can be done at the same time that you're filing other tax forms or other state forms as well. So it's intended, of course, to be easy for the employer and drive benefit. And I can attest to it from a chamber's perspective that it has truly done that as well. So you talked a little bit about earlier some of the on-the-job trainings and the apprentice programs, et cetera. And I know Judd had some questions about that as well. So for Judd, as using him as an example, providing a product that is dedicated towards the veterans with hopes of growing that business to employ more veterans, it's a great story. What opportunities, even hypothetically, do you see for somebody like in Judd's position?
So as I mentioned, there are a number of resources that we offer to our employers. The OJT and apprenticeship programs you mentioned are temporary placement positions that we can help employers leverage GI Bill funding to offset employer costs. We also internally maintain a weekly newsletter that goes out to over 9,000 registered job seekers that our employers are eligible to advertise their vacancies in. We also work on the transition side of the house with transitioning service members and veterans on developing professional soft skills to complement their training and experience from the military. And then we can make direct referrals from that client pool to certified employers. And as I mentioned earlier, my favorite resource to talk about is the grant. So V3 certified employers who have 300 or less employees are eligible for a grant from the state of Virginia that will award them $1,000 for every veteran they hire and retain for up to a year. And it can be applied retroactively. So once an organization gets certified, if they have any veterans that have been working for them, they can apply for them for that grant money as well.
And so, Jed, how do you see this as, it doesn't take much to see the value benefit, but as a business owner here in Fauquier County, what are your thoughts on this program from the state?
Well, that's a great question. As a small business owner and as a small business specifically, with looking forward and looking ahead to growing the business, everybody knows that staffing is difficult. Hiring quality people is difficult. And to have an organization that I can use as a vehicle to find potential employees with the work ethic and the values that I know and familiar with from my prior military experience is important, and to also be able to perhaps offset some of the costs associated with finding those people and bringing those people on board is a big benefit. Is a big benefit. And I was particularly pleased to find that the requirements on the business owner to be a certified V3 company are very low. There are a number of things that I'm required to do as a business quarterly. Adding a small report submitted once a quarter to V3 is not overbearing in any way. So this is going to be an exciting program, I think, going forward.
Terrific.
So it's not. I'll use the big, the 800-pound gorilla in the room. The Indeed, you mentioned that, right? So obviously, we're talking apples and oranges here from a standpoint of hiring platforms. But why is V3? Why is this program not just another Indeed or another? I'm not picking on Indeed, but not another platform that's driven and managed by algorithms.
Well, part of it is because we are not driven and managed by algorithms. We're managed by flesh and blood folks. I handle the employer side. So as employers get certified, I am their concierge to all things Department of Veterans Services. On the talent side, our transition coordinators work directly with the job seekers. And we're also different because we don't just offer a place to advertise your vacancies. That is an option that we have. And if you're interested in doing that, you certainly can. But we also do things like the direct referrals from our transition coordinators. We help you design and implement these temporary to hopefully permanent placement positions, including another position I didn't mention earlier that is for transitioning service members that offers employers the opportunity to take them on temporarily before they leave active duty service for a predetermined period of time. The benefit to the employer there being you don't have to pay them for that 6 to 8 weeks of employment because they are still on active duty, so they're still receiving active duty pay. So I think that's what really differentiates us is some of the variety and the options that we offer.
Yeah, and when you mentioned that, I mean, it resonated with me as opposed to, because obviously I'm not a veteran. Obviously, the two of you are, and thank you for your service. But I do understand, coming from one world into another is that transition is not easy for anybody, right? Not just Judd's, he can likely acclimate and empathize more so with a veteran coming on as an employee. But for those companies that don't have that benefit of being a veteran as well, that can be a very awkward and sometimes non-rewarding experience. So what you're doing is kind of not eliminating that, but you're managing that better. And I think that kind of slow bleed in of transition, I think is probably very critical. It gives the employer and the employee a chance to kind of date a little while before you get married, right?
Yeah. And that's one of our primary missions is to bridge the fundamental communication and understanding gap that exists between civilian employers and military affiliated job seekers.
Right. We have a lot of opportunities here. I know you had some good numbers. The last V3's been around 10, 11 years now.
Yes, sir.
1,500. No, I'm sorry. What was the number of them in the state of Virginia? The number of certified?
We are over 3,000 certified employers with over 100,000 veteran and military family member placements.
Fantastic. I mean, so obviously there's the proof of concept passed a long time ago. This is something that is proven. I want to thank the Department of Veteran Affairs in Richmond for obviously supporting this and putting such an effort behind it, but more so you, Michael, for your expertise, your passion, your knowledge of it. Just so everyone else knows, we are going to be doing some, you'll see Michael again. He'll be coming up to do some webinars and some expositions on, again, more benefits to the employers here in Fauquier County. To certainly consider that. If you have any questions about it, of course, reach out to the chamber. We can put you in the right, put you in touch with the right people. But Judd, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. And Michael, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Great.
Appreciate it.